Okay. Can someone say something now?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Larry. Okay, perfect. Cool. All right. Thank you all for joining. We'll go ahead and call this meeting to order at 7:03 p.m. And yeah, we'll go ahead and get started. Okay. Are there any amendments to the agenda today? Evan?
Can we add a presentation on web accessibility that Megan should already have?
Okay. Cool, cool. Now let's move to Lucy.
Can you please correct capital contingency?
Okay. And then Eva?
Can you please strike bag allocations and grows allocations?
Okay. Are there any other amendments to the agenda?
Sarah put in the chat to strike bot allocations.
Okay, cool. Sorry, I wasn't looking in the chat. Okay. If those are all the amendments to the agenda, can I have a motion?
I motion to approve the agenda.
Did someone say second?
I second.
Okay, Megan motions. Evan seconds. All in favor, please raise your hand. Nine, 10, 11. Please lower your hands. All against, please raise your hands. All abstaining, please raise your hands. With an 11-0 vote, that is approved. Now moving to the approval of minutes. Oh, I think I just saw an email that the draft isn't completed yet. Someone please correct me if I'm wrong. Oh, so yeah, okay, that's what it says. Never mind, we're good. Okay, so we'll go ahead and skip that for now, and then when they are ready, we'll be able to look into them. Well, approve them. So now let's go ahead and open it up to public comment at 7:05 p.m. Remember, freedom of speech does not mean freedom of accountability. Please do not use any dehumanizing language. And yeah, you can only speak once and you have 2 minutes, and you must be an undergraduate at UCLA to speak at public comment. And with that, we'll go ahead and open public comment up. So if you're here for public comment, please raise your hand. Okay, let's go ahead and start with Harvard.
Thank you, President. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'm Haravind. I just wanted to give you all an update and a quick outline on the Academic Senate Legislative Assembly meeting, which was held on Thursday, November 16th at 2 p.m. I, along with three other student representatives, sit on their respective committee. Firstly, we had some remarks from Andrea Casco, who's the chair of the Academic Senate. She went over Assembly Bill 1291, which was passed. That's essentially a pilot program which will affect admission of transfer students, and they'll basically be figuring out which transfer pathways fit with which degrees. And the second thing she spoke about was there's been a shift in faculty workload, so they're trying to transfer to a new procurement system during the winter break. This is also going to be a transitional time with the departure of Chancellor Block, and there's a replacement search out for him. The move to the Big Ten is another major on campus. Moving on, a couple of faculty urged that they need a bigger pay raise. They don't like how they're doing more admin work without getting paid for it. To the consent calendar, there were no objections for the year 2024-2025. Because Chancellor Block couldn't attend, Mitch Chang, the interim vice provost for equity, diversity, and inclusion, attended. He went over how every morning the EDI, the Equity, Diversity, Inclusion Department, meets to get debriefed on what's going on campus, and they strategize and plan with the priority of student safety. He spoke on the couple of experiences students have been going through, like harassments and stuff. He definitely exasperated on the fact that if anything happens as of such, students should report that claim immediately. As of Monday, 6th of November, there were 131 reports since October 7th because of the conflict in the Middle East, and 33 were reported last week. And that is all from me. That concludes the report. The next meeting will be on February 16th in 2024. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we'll be going into our next person, Aiden.
Hello. I'm here to report on the Committee on Planning and Budget, the Academic Senate. And so basically one thing I'm specifically going to report on is UCLA's real estate. So right now, UCLA is trying to rent a building in Westwood called One West Side, which is basically just like it's a massive building in order to put like an engineering center there so we can do like quantum engineering and stuff like that. It will be one of our biggest investments ever. It will be half paid for by Google, and there'll be a lot of other ways in which we'll fund it. And this would be one of the biggest expansions of UCLA into off campus and probably ever. And it will be our biggest real estate investment in the history of UCLA. So it's something that's incredibly exciting. And it's already built for all kinds of engineering and all kinds of quantum engineering, which is incredibly exciting. So that's why the committee is very excited about it. And it will happen sooner. It will happen sooner rather than later, but UCLA just kind of working with the company and working with Google of trying to move in there. And just make sure that everything's in line because it's a very big investment. There also needs to be some tenant renovations, so they need to be ready for that. And it will cost us around $125 per square foot of the land, which is like actually pretty cheap considering how like overdeveloped Westwood is, and there's really not that much space in Westwood. This is the biggest piece of land we could possibly have in Westwood for miles. So this is like an incredibly important thing that UCLA does, and see if we can get over the hump. So that's specifically what I want to talk about. My next Committee on Planning and Budget meeting is December 4th. Hope everybody has a great day today.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, now moving to our next person, Claire.
Hello, this is Claire from CalPERG. I'm just going to do super quick update on some stuff that we are working on. The main thing is that this week, us and our other CalPERG chapters at different UCs across the state are doing a week of action for our 100% renewable energy at the UCs campaign. So we're going to be doing lots of cool stuff, like visibility around campus. And on Friday, we're going to make a giant mural that is like a vision of UCLA with clean energy. Super cute. All the people in this world are bears. Super fun. Anyway, if you guys want to stop by, we'll be doing that in front of Kirkhoff from 1 to 4 on Friday. The other thing is like more organizationally, we're currently in our campaign selection process for next quarter. The biggest thing is we're going to be choosing a lead campaign across the state. That's a campaign that all of our chapters run at every single school. And it's also the campaign we recruit on and that we fundraise on. So we're considering several campaigns for that right now, ones that we're running right now and ones that we aren't based off of legislative opportunities, but we could next quarter. So we'll officially vote on that at our statewide board meeting, which is on December 19th after finals week. So yeah, that's what we're up to right now. Thank you guys so much for listening. Hope you have a good rest of your meeting.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, now we'll be moving to our next person, Jesse.
Hi, my name is Jesse Martinez. I'm a first-year environmental science major, and this quarter I'm an intern at CalPERG. As you all know, CalPERG is a statewide student organization at 8 of the UCs, and we work to fight towards resolution of issues that students are interested in, such as protecting the environment and supporting students' basic needs. Today, I wanted to tell you about our campaign that focuses on making textbooks more affordable. In light of finals coming up, and with the bringing of textbook buyback season, as well as with students needing to buy textbooks for next quarter, I feel like this is the perfect time to address this issue. Textbooks are and historically have been outrageously expensive. Our research has found that 65% of students have skipped buying a textbook in college, despite 90% of them knowing it would harm their grades. It isn't just that knowledge is monopolized and profited off of, to the point of making it inaccessible for many. There are only a few publishing companies that supply most of the textbooks, which gives the power to artificially increase the price. It simply isn't right. However, there is a clear solution to this problem: open educational resources, or OERs. They are faculty written and peer reviewed, but are published under an open license so that they are cheaper or even free for students to use. At CalPERG, we'll be working statewide over the next 2 weeks to elevate this issue on all of our UC campuses. We will be working to educate faculty on OERs, getting visibility in our local papers, and more. Please let me know if you would be able to help us educate more faculty or can help us publicize OERs in another way. Thank you.
Thank you for your time. Okay, now we'll be moving to Brandon.
Hello, I'm Brendan. I'm the vice chair of the Student Fee Advisory Committee. I just wanted to come and provide a brief update. First of all, we have an Instagram now, so please follow it. It's ucla.svac. We were curious about whether we could have the USAC affiliated Instagrams potentially reposting, particularly our recruitment posts. This would help us fill our 2 undergraduate vacancies, which are it's very important that we get those filled up, especially as we head into what is usually the busiest time of year, which is the unit reviews. So along with that, I just wanted to ask whether there's any updates on either of the 2 undergraduate vacancies. And yeah, that's about it. Thank you.
Thank you. And yeah, we'll definitely give a follow. I had pushed somebody through ARC. I need to follow up if that person was interviewed. But thank you for the reminder, Brendan. I appreciate your time. Okay. So with that, is anybody else here for public comment? Sujana? Sorry.
Oh, yeah, I wasn't sure when to do this, but I guess just to respond to the public comment on textbook affordability, just that the Academic Affairs Commission is definitely working really actively on this actually, and especially so right now. So if you'd like to, if you're still here, which you are, my email is usaac@gmail.com. So feel free to reach out, but I would also, I'm not sure how I can get your email, but please reach out. And again, that's usaac@gmail.com. We met with CalPERG, me and the director of my office, Katie Wagman, who was actually part of CalPERG textbook affordability last year, met with I think the director of the textbook affordability project. So over the summer. So we would love to keep working with CalPERG. Thanks.
Amazing. And for the person from CalPERG, the intern, you can also put your email as a question in our Q&A, and that will we'll be able to see it as a whole council. So if anybody would like to follow up, they can. But yeah, okay. We'll go ahead and close public comments at 7:16. So thank you all for attending and speaking on those thoughts. But now let's go ahead and move into funding. So starting on contingency programming. Lucy?
Yeah, sorry. This week, I'll be sending this in the chat as well. But this week we had a total contingency programming request of 15,501, and we recommend an allocation of 3,850 for 13 non-USAC ME related events. I'm happy to answer any questions. Also, all of the specific information is located on the universal spreadsheet that's linked on the agenda.
Amazing. Okay, thank you. If there are no questions, can we have a motion?
I move to approve this week's contingency programming.
I have a second. Sorry, I could not tell who seconded.
Oh, it was me.
Oh, okay. Alicia motions, Jean seconds. All in favor, please raise your hand. All right, please lower your hands. All against, please raise your hands. All abstaining, please raise your hands. Well, for 11 to 0 vote, that is passed. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, now moving to SFS allocations. Shane?
Yeah. Okay. So we had a total requested amount of 2,555 and a total allocation of 1,239, with one CSE affiliated entity and one non-CSE affiliated entity.
Awesome. Is there any opposition? Okay, that's approved. Thank you so much. Moving on to our next, we have SWC programming fund allocations. Janice?
Yep. Hi, everyone. This week, the SWC Programming Fund received $750 in requests from one USAC entity and then $1,250 from two non-USAC entities. And we are fully funding both of those requests.
Okay, is there any opposition there? Amazing, that is approved. Thank you, Janice. Moving to ASRF allocations, Sujana? Sujana? Okay, we're gonna go ahead and go to ARC allocations. Alicia? Oh yeah, okay, let's go back to Sujana. She just DM'd. Okay.
Really bad timing to go use the bathroom, so sorry about that. But
All good.
I guess I'll start with let me pull it up. So is this for the it doesn't matter which allocation I start with.
ASRF.
For the ASRF allocation, it was $2,000 to one non-USAC entity.
Amazing. Is there any opposition there from folks? Okay, that's approved. Go ahead to travel mini grant.
And then for TGMF, it was $4,000 to three non-USAC entities.
Okay, any opposition? That one is approved as well. Thank you so much. Okay, now to Alicia for ARC.
This week, Cash Arc Initiative Fund requests to allocate $9,157 with 33 cents to 6 non-USAC entities and $2,000 to one USAC entity.
Okay, is there any opposition? Okay, awesome. Thank you. That was approved. Now let's move to TGIF. Evan?
Okay, I just put it in the chat. TGIF allocated $7,681.92 to four non-USAC entities.
Thank you so much. Okay, moving on to special presentations. Unfortunately, Bruin 1 access will have to be rescheduled for a later date. So we'll go ahead and go straight into the web accessibility presentation with Evan.
Okay, sweet. Actually, I told my people to come around like 7:30, 7:45. So let me message them real quick because I did not think that we were going to get to this quickly.
Sounds good. And then while we wait for Evan's votes, Megan, do you want to go ahead and make that motion now?
I'd like to motion to table Irish Shi, for the budget review director position to next week's meeting. There was a scheduling conflict.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Was that Gabby? Okay. Megan motions, Gabby seconds. All in favor, please raise your hand. All right, please lower your hands. All against, please raise your hands. All abstaining, please raise your hands. Okay, with a 13-0 vote, that is approved. So we'll go ahead and table that for next week. So please bring your questions for our budget review director. Yeah, director for next week. That'll be a really important position that we've been trying to fill. So I think it'll be a great time to ask questions from people that maybe don't typically ask questions during our appointment review sessions. Yeah. Okay. We'll go ahead and move on to officer reports in the meantime. And yeah, mine are on the document, but some things that we've been doing this week in the office, been participating in the interviews for the NetCCPD chief. So going over a lot of applicants and resumes. I met with the Preserve Abortion Access California Task Force earlier today, met with CalPERG, met with the Chancellor Search Committee. Prepping for Financial Aid Advocacy Day, I've been chosen as one of the speakers to talk about kind of my financial aid journey and how it's benefited me in my college education. Planning for our, the UC Council presidents are planning for our quarterly meeting with President Drake to kind of go over several issues that we've seen predominantly at the UCs for the past couple of months. Also was interviewed with NBC for Good Clothes, Good People in the Basic Needs Redistribution Center because, well, part of it, I was co-signed on an op-ed that Robert Blake Watson, the USAC 2019-2020 USAC Student Body President, wrote, and that was published on Daily Bruin. So they had reached out to do a quick interview. And then, yeah, we're planning several events for finals week. And I had a meeting with Yermate to talk about sponsorship and marketing for our upcoming some partnerships that we have in the works. And now we'll go ahead and move on to the next person, which is, sorry, I'm switching between screens. Megan.
Hi, the Appointments Review Committee conducted one interview this week. We're scheduling multiple for the Elections Board Chair position, SBAC, et cetera, et cetera. I attended the Narcan Implementation Task Force meeting with Dr. Nicole Green, SWC and AVP, to discuss updates on where Narcan is being distributed on campus. We'll be working with them on advertising where the Narcan is and getting the word out to students. I attended the monthly meeting with Michael Beck where we discussed the Campus Safety Alliance, the UC Regions meeting, and we also invited him to attend a USAC meeting to listen to public comment. I'd like to request that SGS invite his email or his administrative email to the Google Calendar invite for the USAC meeting. We have a meeting, me and Josh have a meeting with the Tribune Raise Committee, and we're currently reserving Kirkhoff Grand Salon for the ceremony. The ASU Slate t-shirt contest voting is now open, so please vote for your favorite t-shirt design to be sold in the UCLA store next quarter or spring quarter. The designs are actually up in the UCLA, in Ackerman Union on A level, so you can take a look there. Josh will be attending the RJN campaign meeting this Friday in my place, but I'll get updates afterwards. We did not hold our all staff or directors meeting this week, but I'll be adding some committee updates to my officer report later tonight when I get them. And then I'd like to remind everyone in council, if you applied to the ASU Slate Room Reservation lottery thing, the lottery Zoom will be open tomorrow from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. and it's first comes, first serve. That's it.
Okay. We're going to pivot back to the special presentation, and Julie's here, so we'll go ahead and give them the stage, and then we'll come back to officer reports.
Hi, my name is Savannah. I am the co-director of Access on Board for FAC, and my other co-director, Lynn, is not able to be here, but is it okay if we share our screen for the presentation?
Yes, would it be you guys sharing screen?
Yes.
Okay, I can make you a co-host for the meeting.
I think Laura will be sharing a
Oh,
screen.
sorry,
Yeah,
Laura.
you're good.
Oh, Laura? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I've made Laura a co-host.
Sure. Okay. Hi, my name is Julia. I'm on FAC. Savvy is one of my co-directors on the Access on Board team. And today we're presenting on web accessibility. And this entire presentation is based on the Web Accessibility Guide, which was made by Lily Shaw with contributions from Sachi Cooper. And I feel like everyone probably knows who Lily Shaw is, but if not, she was the 2019 to 2020 USAC Facilities Commissioner, and she advocated for disability rights on campus, and she also raised a lot of funds for the Disability Cultural Center. Next slide. Okay, so the first part, which I'll be doing, is graphic design considerations. Okay, so first, you need to make sure your color contrast is accessible, and color contrast describes like how different the colors are of like the text in the background. So like high contrast would be like white on black, black on white. There's a pretty big difference between the text and the background. And high contrast is considered accessible, whereas low contrast, like gray on black, gray on white, is considered inaccessible. And these are some resources to check your color contrasts. It's pretty easy to use. I tried them. I used it for this presentation. And we'll be sharing a link to this presentation at the end, so you guys can like have these links. Okay, and also you need to consider that meaningful text needs adequate color contrast, so like high color contrast. And meaningful text is text that aids in understanding like whatever you're saying on the social media platform or graphic. And decorative text is text that only serves an aesthetic purpose, such as a logo, but it does not need adequate color contrast. That is all for that side. Okay, some additional considerations. It's best to avoid red, pink, and green for both the text and the background for certain kinds of color blindness. And it's also best to avoid white backgrounds because for some cognitive disabilities, they're too dazzling. So instead, it's best to use a soft cream color or a pastel color. And this is the last graphic design consideration before our next person takes over. But some cognitive disabilities will compress all text and background into the foreground, which makes a text difficult to comprehend. And if you don't get what I mean by that, basically just make sure that like, if you have like one sentence, make sure that the background color is the same for all of it. Like in this example, some of it, the background is pink, some of it, the background is purple, some of it, the background is yellow, and it makes it really difficult to comprehend for certain cognitive disabilities.
Hi, I'm Joanna, and I'll be continuing the presentation. So in regards to designing text, you can go to the next slide. Text readability really affects how like easy or like how difficult it can be for people to read text. So this is some more examples of that. Font settings, these are some fonts like displayed on the right that it's like difficult for people with disabilities to read. So it's important that when creating content to use fonts that like don't have like little markers on the end of the letters and icons. And then for font sizing and spacing, not only like in the way that it's double spaced, but the space between letters is important. So we recommend like a 12 to 14 point font. And then on the next slide, you can see that like the word above it says cool, but then because the letters are too close together, it looks like cod. And And then on the bottom is an example of how it can look if it's too spread apart. So, and then like font display is also very important. Be cautious when using all caps, and using fonts with all caps is important. And then these are some post considerations. It's important to like plan content to be concise and to use active voice, especially when it comes to the I'm blanking on the word right now, but the descriptive text of the post. Yeah, so this is the alternative text, and it basically like explains how when you're posting a visual post, like how to create alternative text so it's accessible for people with visual disabilities. And then this just continues on how to write alt text and what to hit on and the important parts of alt text. Here are some more examples of how to write alt text. And then this just illustrates how to add the alt text to Instagram posts specifically. You can do it in the actual post itself, or you can put it in the comments, which is a more popular and easy and more accessible way to use alt text. Yeah, so this is how you would add alt text to an existing post. And here's a visual representation of that. And yeah, so this kind of speaks to image descriptions and photo IDs along with alt text. And then this is how you would add it to Twitter. Yeah, it's just a few slides on how to do it. And then this is some like rule. Oh, this is Laura's part. I'll let her go.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, so I'm going to talk a little bit about caption writing as well. So these are some standards that you should include when writing captions and things to keep in mind. Something that's important as well, especially with hashtags, is to use Pascal case. Example there, Bruins Day, both the B and D are capitalized. It creates a differentiation between the words being used in a hashtag. And then in addition, to use limited emojis, and then preferably use them only at the end. And then here's a positive example, and then I'm going to show a negative example. As you can see there, there's colloquial slang terms, and as well as a bunch of emojis and non-Pascal use of hashtags. So these are some things to keep in mind when writing posts for Instagram and any social media platform. Some additional considerations just to have in mind. When having long paragraphs, there may be alternative ways to format that information to make it more accessible and understandable to all audiences. This can include graphics, different ways of representing it, etc. So these are just some ways that you can change it, as well as making the paragraphs more accessible through formatting it differently using simpler words, concise, like was mentioned previously, and other configuring text display options. In addition, you can also use descriptive links, but it's very important to provide information on where these links are taking the user. For example, as I show here, check out UCLA. It shows that it's going to ucla.edu and describes the location. And then a bad descriptive link would be click here because it doesn't provide any information about the actual descriptive link or where it is taking you. So it's very important for individuals who use screen readers specifically because they not often navigate through text using link-to-link keys. So it's very important to make sure that your descriptions for these links are accurate. In addition, here are some additional resources as well as our email for further contacts or information about the guide and how we can further improve accessibility on the web and campus. Thank you.
Thank you all. This was so good. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Thank you. So just like a little bit about why this is important. We've all done a lot to make sure that our physical spaces on campus are accessible, and we also have a lot of work to do, but I know shout out EVP for some of the lobbying that we did last year in DC for disability rights and disability justice. But we want to make sure that our online spaces are accessible as well. And so I've seen a lot of y'all's Instagrams doing these alt texts and everything like that. So we want to make sure that we continue to do that. And we'll be sharing this presentation with you all so we can continue to take part in accessible practices. And yeah, thank you guys for this opportunity, and shout out to my amazing staffers for doing this amazing presentation. I'm very proud of them. Thank you.
Awesome. This is really slay, I'm not gonna lie. Definitely will be sharing with my marketing team. Encourage you all to share with your marketing teams as well, council members. Yes, as Megan said, it is on the agenda, so you do have access to it. So definitely use it there and you will be all set. Now we are gonna head back into our officer reports, going back to Eva.
Yeah, hi everyone. Lots of like lobbying this week. And so we actually met with Assemblymember Irwin earlier today, like in the flesh, herself. Well, not in the flesh, but in the flesh over Zoom. Like the real like member, which is really cool. And I'm meeting on Thursday with reps from Mayor Bass's office and our LA County Supervisor, Lindsay Horvath's office about houselessness in Westwood. So I'm really excited about that. I'm just scheduling other meetings in the works. So everything else is pretty much on the officer report. It was kind of a quiet week because of Thanksgiving. And I guess last thing, just for anyone, if you're planning on doing any like lobbying, if you could contact me first, just because I am the external office for that, and I don't want to be redundant, I guess, with orgs that we're meeting with. So just keep that in mind. And I'm looking forward to our discussion topic later in the meeting about the Association of Big Ten Students. Thank you.
For sure, sounds good. We'll be moving to Katie.
Hi everyone, hope you guys are doing well. So most of my stuff's in the written report, but what I would say is that I attended one of the talks with the athletics director recently, and so we talked about like the move to the Big Ten. So I have a lot of information about that and like what like the athletic director of UCLA has to say about that, and so I'm excited to discuss that soon. And the rest of that can just be found in my written report, but I hope everyone's doing well and taking care of themselves and getting ready for finals and our next break.
Okay, Gabby.
It's all in the written report.
Appreciate it, Jonathan.
Yeah, I have some stuff in the written report, but I'd also just like to verbalize a couple things. I hope you all had a wonderful break. Wishing well wishes for most of you. I would just like to voice a couple things. Firstly, so my office is meeting right now. Unfortunately, we had to move it. But I'm voicing kind of what we had. I'm very excited for the stuff that my office is getting going. We're onboarding more staff, so I'm very excited for my office to expand. I attended a meeting with Michael Beck alongside Maggie, Eva, and Evan, and that was definitely very interesting, where we brought up safety concerns students had. And yeah, and I also attended a meeting with Latina student leaders today to discuss their work and collaborative efforts for Student Advisory Board for HSI, which does loop in USAC, and just ensuring that USAC is continuously working with HSI, especially as UCLA becomes an HSI by 2025. I want to highlight some things that my directors have been working on. We're going to have an internship event next week where we're going to highlight some internship opportunities for students on the 6th from 4 to 6 in Ackerman 3517. So if you know anyone or you also want to attend, feel free to come over. Our Blue Brew and Health initiative, we have masks and hand sanitizers that we're going to have accessible to the public, just making sure that students, you know, if they want to mask or have a mask, they have it in an accessible way. That, you know, in case they're a little shy or they're worried about, right there on the 3rd floor next to the general representative office. I'm making an ask for you all. Please promote the Bruin Worldwide initiative. We actually have more mentees interested, so more exchange students interested than current UCLA students to support them. So please, I asked if you can fill that out. I linked it in my officer reports. The Bruin Convenience platform, My Bruin convenience director will be coming next week to present the results from the survey that I sent out to you all. Thank you so much for filling that out. Where you have our general population survey, which we're going to be officially presenting tomorrow to the student body. But if you can fill it out as well, just to compile that feedback into the general student body, that'd be great. And I will be meeting with UC Berkeley students next week to discuss a joint resolution, just further addressing the needs of all the Latina communities in both our respective campuses. That's about it with the highlights. Thank you guys so much.
Amazing work. Love a good joint resolution. Okay, now let's move forward with Sujana.
Yeah, definitely. Sorry because I'm also going to be providing verbal updates, but they won't be too long. Just that my office, the various committees are hard at work on a lot of different things. Retention First is going to be launching the Books for Bruins application for winter quarter this week, and so students will be able to apply ahead of time. And so looking forward to that, to be able to kind of change the reimbursement process and hopefully make it more efficient. Like in that same vein, we are still continually working on private funding, and winter break will be a time really devoted to doing like grant writing and applications where we have more time to devote to it. Access and Equity has also been working on a few different initiatives, but is also getting involved in a disability justice resolution. I'm working with Javier, who has come to public comment at USAC a few times and is also like part of EVP. And besides that, as part of textbook affordability, a lot has happened in the recent week. Just today, we had a meeting with a lot of different entities, including the bookstore, Strategic Initiatives Committee, and the librarians, actually, to discuss basically how Katie and I have spent the past few months really collecting all this information on textbook affordability and how we're trying to shift to actually implementing certain steps to take action on that. And it was a really productive meeting, very informative. And we are also working on a resolution for course marking that we were bringing as an extension of last week's work. And as part of Sanctuary Campus, I was able to connect my director of Sanctuary Campus with the Muslim Student Association. My director of Sanctuary Campus is a Muslim student herself, and so I'm glad that I'm able to, be able to also respect what they had brought up earlier last week regarding, kind of cultural values and the more delicate nature of that. And then regarding upward movement and the career readiness platform, besides the partnerships with the law school, we are launching a grad prep book rental program this week as well, where students will be able to apply for GRE, GMAT, LSAT, and MCAT prep books that they can take home over winter break to use to study. Just like a rental program that Danny, last year's Academic Affairs Commissioner, launched. She did a fantastic job with that. And I'm really glad that I can continue to implement it, to execute it. Besides, lastly, for the last few things rather, for the Growing Roots responsibilities, that is my platform kind of dedicated to mother organization relations and making sure to really give them a platform and amplify their initiatives. I do actually feel really bad because I've had a lot of trouble filling this director position, as I do want it to be filled by someone from the mother organizations, and it's just been a process, but I have started those responsibilities myself in the past couple weeks. And so I think I'm going to kind of modify and take over those responsibilities. And I'm glad that in that same vein, I'm also going to continue to work on Opportunity for All and other projects that I've already been involved in this year. I think the last thing is internship. And so the AAC interns just yesterday gave a presentation on which is kind of the culmination of all the work that they've done this quarter, where they were tasked with identifying problems themselves and how AAC can materially improve them. And they selected a few different problems, the first being the careers, not necessarily problems, I guess areas of improvement, but the first being the week 0 welcome event at the Career Center. And I was really impressed by how they very clearly laid out areas that they thought could be improved upon, exactly how they thought that the solutions could be implemented. I actually really appreciated the web accessibility presentation today, because the second problem that they identified was that the UCLA academic resource websites are very hard to navigate and are also sometimes unintuitive because of how certain pages are broken and lead to links that no longer are, to date or work. And then lastly, they also identified AAC's Instagram as a place to improve. And I was just very impressed with the presentation because it was very meticulous, very thorough, and they seem to know like exactly how they want to implement these things, and it integrates them into the commission really well. So those are my main updates for the past week.
Thank you so much. Mason?
Hi everyone. Hope everyone had a good Thanksgiving break. Good to see everyone virtually. And yeah, I also just wanted to say shout out to that presentation because I have my meeting with my online marketing staff right after this, so I have like a lot to show them now, and I think that was like a really awesome presentation considering a lot of us like put accessibility in our platforms for this year. So awesome stuff. But yeah, all my stuff is on the document. Just wanted to plug some events we have this week and next week. This week we have Groove Garden, our vinyl DJ concert. It is Thursday. Doors open at 7 p.m. at Fowler Museum Terrace. And yeah, we have really cool DJs. It should be really fun. And then next week on Monday, we have our petting zoo with SWC. Shout out Janice. And that's from 12 to 4. It's just like a running thing. You can stop by and pet the animals. It'll be really cute and really fun, like something to do before finals week. And that's in Dixon Court North, like the Sunken Garden area in North Campus. And then yeah, the day after that on Tuesday, we have the ELF screening for like our final holiday screening and like final event of the quarter. And that'll be really cute. There's like hot chocolate and cookies and everything. So yeah, come to that, come to all of our events and follow us on Instagram, and have a good day, everyone.
Thank you. Chi.
Hi everyone. Hope everyone had a good break over the weekend. Most of my updates are written as well. I'll just highlight some things quickly. We are currently planning a holiday drive with International Rescue Committee. It's going to be our last initiative for the year. We'll be collecting a bunch of donations and we'll be like sending it over to International Rescue Committee to give it out to the immigrant families and refugees in finals week. We are also planning nonprofit networking night with Volunteer Center that's set to be happening in winter. And we are also preparing to recruit our delegation to the Impacts Conference that is also happening in winter. And another thing is that we are recruiting student service organizations for our Youth Empowerment Coalition. Basically, it's just a little network for student groups who are involved with, working with youths to collaborate, share their resources, curriculum, and, pedagogies with each other so that then they can learn from one another. So yeah, that's my main updates for this week.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Now let's move to Alicia. Alicia, do you have any verbal updates? Okay, let's go ahead with, let's see, Sarah, I'm looking at the list. Evan, and then we'll come back if they have anything.
Yeah, all my reports are written. It's been pretty light over the weekend. Just want to once again shout out all of my Access on Board staffers for that incredible presentation. I know they've been putting in so much hard work for that, so really appreciate them.
Awesome. Okay, Sarah?
Pretty much it has same with us. So most of everything is written. I guess the only thing is we're doing a couple of like financial wellness presentations this week. So that is exciting.
All right, and Janice.
Hi everyone. Same thing that Mason said. We have that collab with CEC coming up next Monday. The petting zoo from 12 to 4. And then this Thursday, one of our committees, Sexperts, is putting on a a guest speaker event. Dr. Tara, she's a sex professor from CSUF and also TV host and like a social media influencer. She's giving a talk on healthy communication, and there's Diddy Reese cookies. It's this Thursday, 7 to 9 in Kaplan 169. This is all written. And then the biggest thing we have to announce is that next Tuesday, which is when our SWC meetings are, at 5 p.m. in the Viewpoint Conference Room on the first floor of Ackerman, or sorry, the A level. We are having a town hall SWC meeting, so it's open to the public. We're serving dinner. We're gonna have like a pasta bar, desserts, fruit platter, and we're also giving away an Apple Watch. And we want it to be a evening of reflection on the quarter. Amazing. Yeah. So yeah, we just want folks to have a space to de-stress, reflect on the quarter, and especially given how difficult this quarter has been with the Israel-Palestine crisis, and give people a platform to speak to student leaders and student wellness directly and brainstorm solutions on how SWC can best support the continued wellness of our campus in the upcoming quarter. Yeah, that's it for me.
Thank you so much, Janice. It sounds like amazing events that I think most of us will be looking forward to. Okay, let's go ahead to our transfer student representative, Tara.
Hi, y'all. I hope y'all had a great Thanksgiving break or just the holiday in general if you don't celebrate. For me, next week, we are hosting a Black Transfer Study Hall with the Academic Supports Program, which is ASU's retention project. I'm really excited. We're also planning an International Student Welcome Gala with Adam. I've never really engaged with the Dashu Center in my capacity as TSR, so I'm hoping to have something really big for not even just international transfers, but all international Bruins to make sure they feel safe and supported within the USAC space and UCLA at large. We are beginning the planning of our first ever Transfer Mental Health Awareness Week, which I am personally excited about because that was one of my biggest platforms as I was writing for TSR, hoping to have SWC and the other projects under that office involved. We are also in the works of developing the TSR Transfer Empowerment Referenda, which I'm personally excited about because it's been pretty brutal out here trying to represent and support 30% of the population with not 30% of the USAC budget. So that is going to be exciting. We're hoping to put in different things from like the Mother Org transfer student initiatives, specifically their transfer admit weekends. I know those are really important, as well as supporting access projects within the Mother Orgs that focus on outreach to community college. That also includes STOMP, which is not technically under a Mother Org, but it still is an access project for transfers, whether they come to UCLA or not. Among other things, we are also planning a Armenia Awareness Week with the Armenian Student Association and the Hidden Roads Initiative. We had talked about Armenians kind of going, how do you say, like unnoticed, especially when we're talking about different genocides that are happening across the world. Definitely Armenians feel a little bit left behind in that framework of decoloniality and just general awareness of how European colonialism and imperialism impacts everybody. We are also extending our application for our staff applications until December 1st. So if you know any freshmen or transfer admits who want to get involved with TSR, send them to our Instagram, and the application is in our bio and our link tree. We are closing the applications for our internship on Friday as well. I think we might extend that to next Friday just to give people more time to submit their applications. But I am hoping to give you all those placements by the end of this quarter. Some offices who I shall name may not receive placements just because of just general concerns with safety for the students within the TSR office. And then we are also working with the American Indian Student Association to do like an Indigenous Transfers Awareness Week. Indigenous and Black transfers are among the smallest population of transfer students, so their needs go really overlooked, especially as it relates to just the history of European colonialism, land and labor. So I want to do more to support Indigenous and Black transfers as well. And so that is a part of those initiatives. And then I did go ahead and send y'all the meeting time for the RJN planning meeting. It'll be on Friday, I believe, at like 10, 11, something like that. Y'all got the email, but that's it for me.
Appreciate you. Adam?
Hey everyone, I hope you all had a good Thanksgiving. No major updates from me. We're just working on our programs that we had before, our dining program. And as Tara mentioned, we're working on our International Student Welcome event that's set to take place in January. But besides that, no major updates from me.
All right, thank you so much. Now we'll go ahead and move to our administrative representatives. Let's go ahead and start with, oh, sorry, the order's out of order on my iPad. Orlando? Wait, is Orlando here? Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm here. Hello, everyone. How are you all doing? Hope you all had a great Thanksgiving break. I know I did. As far as updates, no major updates either. Thank you all for those that have reached out to me for the re-registration and the re-registration mandatory video. I sent them out, so let me know if you have or have not received them or have any issues. If you still need to, please reach out to me. You have till December 8th to complete the workshop requirement. Other than that, no updates, no other updates.
Awesome, Orlando. I appreciate your time. Let's go ahead and move into Jessica.
Hello, all. I know we're getting close to finals, so hope you all are doing well and taking care of yourselves. Not too many updates. Just wanted to share that we did do some de-escalation training today. That was facilitated by our colleague in student affairs chat. It was really great. It was a great intro, just, into how to handle different conversations. So, just as we continue to, go through trainings and different resources as your support team here at your USAC meetings, just trying to be able to help you all. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I know we also have our ASUCLA holiday party coming up. It's gonna be next week so that we can hopefully see a lot of our student attendance before finals. So if you are all around, I'll make sure I send you all the invitation. Please join us if you can. It's gonna be really great. It's for all students, student staff and career staff. So it'll be a nice send off before you all are in finals and then off for winter break. But that's all for me.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Now let's go into Lori.
I have no updates. I made it through the holiday weekend and we are open. Actually, I do one. We are open for winter quarter. If you need something, get to me ASAP because spaces are going fast.
Amazing. Well, me and Lori are getting coffee, so that's her update. Go to and we'll go ahead into Jonathan.
We can't hear you. I think you're muted.
He's trying to say, hey, hello.
If you want to send them to me, I can say them for you if you have anything.
Love Zoom. This is great. Oh, cool. BOD members coming next week. Very sly. Wait, is that it? Sorry. Okay. And back from vacay, if you all need anything, remember, student support. Yeah. Okay. Very good. Okay. Did I capture that right? We're good? Okay. Cool. Thank you. Now we'll go ahead and head into new business. The first item of discussion is discussion on USAC Black History Month initiatives led by Tyra.
Okay, I was trying to join from my laptop because I'm on my phone so y'all could see my screen, but that's not working out well. So I'm gonna just say it out loud and explain to y'all what we're gonna do here. So just to add a little like background and a little bit of historical importance, and this is not like all encompassing if y'all need to do more. Google is there. But Black History Month can be traced back to 1926 when a very prominent African American intellectual named Carter G. Woodson founded Negro History Week. Black History Month is an annual celebration that acknowledges the stellar achievements of Americans of African descent, and it is really a time for recognizing their central role in crafting, developing, and just, making the United States what it is. I think it's safe to say that America would not be here without the significant labor of Black people, whether it be physically, musically, culturally, politically, etc., whatever you want to think of. And I think it's very important for us as the student government at UCLA, representing students at one of the most prominent and prestigious universities in the world, to show our appreciation and our support for Black History Month. USAC itself has been developed by several Black Bruins throughout UCLA history, but this space remains largely anti-Black. You can just look at the demographics. It's just me and Naomi. We can only be representative of so many people. And I think that that is indicative of just a general lack of support for Black students within USAC. Black students don't feel comfortable engaging with this space. Being on the council, I don't really feel comfortable engaging with this space all the time. So USAC's council-wide support in celebration of Black History Month is kind of a form of academic reparations within the lines of the RJN campaign goal. It will allow Black students to gain some kind of like psychological comfort in terms of knowing that their student government does care for them and does represent them. It will also increase your all knowledges of Black students, and we're not all a monolith. We all come in different shapes, sizes, and cultures. So it'll kind of be like a dialectical relationship between us and the Black student body. And I think it's also a great way for non-Black students as well to start getting an understanding of what it means for Black Bruins to be here at such a predominantly white institution. So it's a learning experience. It's something cultural. It's something that I think is healthy for everybody involved. And so I hope that everybody will be open and willing to engage in with this effort. I think within my own office, I can give some examples of what that would look like. I would also like to provide some different examples that I've talked about with certain offices, and then hoping we can open up a discussion about how each office, if you would like to, I would push you to, but each office to kind of develop their own initiative to embark on within the month of Black History Month. So within my office, some things that we have talked about is acknowledging Black community college students and their creation of the Black Panther Party. And I think this is a great segue into the advocacy regarding the proper memorial statues for Bunchy Carter and John Huggins. For those who don't know, they were ASU staff members who were killed in Campbell Hall in the 1960s. Black students have been advocating for proper memorials for decades now. All they have is a rock that gets covered up by leaves. ASU memorializes them every year, so we're hoping to expand that. But also the advocacy for institutionalized Umoja programs at UCLA. Currently, UC Irvine is the only UC system or the UC school that has Umoja. It's very important for Black transfers to have Umoja programs at the schools that they transfer to, because we have a set of support systems that are at the community college, and then we transfer over. The school's already white, and then all of our like program supports that are African centered are just completely gone. So it creates a lot of psychological misorientation for a lot of us. I personally experienced that, and that manifested in imposter syndrome. And that is directly linked to the RJN campaign goal and would be funded by RJN. But something else that we've talked about, so I know Naomi is helping to plan the Pan-African Ubuntu Week with ASU. The Cultural Affairs Commissioner, Alicia, is going to be helping ASU and the Caribbean Student Association develop our Afro-Latin and Afro-Caribbean Heritage Week. Janice, we had talked about doing something along the lines of the Pan-African Mental Health Awareness Week that we had done this past spring. We're doing that again in collaboration with SWC more formally. I had talked to Chia about doing a mother organization community service project fair, which will specifically highlight the different, I'm sorry if y'all hear like a lot of stuff in the background, but highlighting the efforts of BIPOC people, specifically Black people, in terms of doing more Greater Los Angeles work, getting out of that academia bubble. Jonathan is also helping with the Afro-Latin and Afro-Caribbean Heritage Week. And then I briefly talked to Evan about acknowledging Wangari Maathai, which is this really famous Black person from the continent. Actually, she did a lot of work in terms of Afro sustainability on the African continent. And so different African countries acknowledge her on March 3rd for Africa Environment Day. So we talked about having that here at UCLA, but for the remaining offices, which are, oh, I forgot to mention Eva, of course, RJN, that is very important. But for IVP, for campus events, ISR, AAC, financial supports, and Gen Rev 1 and 2, I did want to like double back to y'all to see if there's anything that y'all specifically would like to do for Black History Month while we have this discussion item. But also for the previously mentioned offices, is there anything that y'all would like to add to what I just currently listed off? And we can brainstorm right now. I know we have the RJN meeting on Friday. Just to clarify, I think these are two separate things from that initiative. RJN is lovely and great, but that is for funding. This is for specifically acknowledging Black history and culture. So I know I was talking really fast right there. I'm really tired, so I'll open it up to y'all.
Yeah, I can definitely respond first just by saying that this is like a very important discussion topic, and I would definitely want to support in this initiative in every way I can. I feel like there's like two ways of going about it too, that like we can do both at the same time. I think in one way I would definitely want to just incorporate like aspects of like Black culture into AAC events and programming that we already do. And I feel like that's really important because, you know, I think it's also about recognizing that this is something that should come naturally and should be the standard. And then I also would love though to do like specialized events as well, and like new events to brainstorm. I think like one like incorporation is that with the Little Libraries initiative, which I forgot to mention during written updates, but is actually like looks like it will really happen and could actually like you know, be executed by the end of the year. I know Black History Month next February would coincide with that kind of initiative. And one thing I really wanted to do was curated book collections. And so like I would love to like highlight Black culture in that way. I also know that we were like talking about the book club, and then you have the transfer book club as well. So like AAC could totally sponsor a book club for not just February, but in general to promote like Black literature. But there's definitely like a ton of ways. So I know that this is not for brainstorming in detail, but I would definitely love to be a part of everything.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you, Tara, for making this presentation. I think for folks that definitely are interested, take the basically till our next meeting and have like how Megan said she's going to reach out to Tara. Definitely given that ideas that Tara listed out of some things that are going to be happening, some of the types of events, other things like that, maybe see how that can be incorporated into your office's work, as Sujana mentioned, into the in African culture, into some of the programming that you're already doing, or if you want to do specific programming for the month. Definitely collaborations are very important in USAC. It aids in getting us things done. The most recent collaboration I can think of was Midterm Structural Relief Week that Sujana hosted. A bunch of collaborations there that were really successful. So think about it in that way of what we can do when we work stronger as a team. So definitely, I know Gabby had to leave, but definitely we can reach out to folks. And yeah, thank you, Tara, for leading us in that discussion. I don't know if anybody wanted to say anything else.
Layers. But if y'all can't think of anything right now, y'all have my phone number. If I don't hear back from everybody, I will follow up. I think I'm really good at that. But I will also see some of y'all on Friday. So if something comes up, let me know. I know that Mason just reminded me we did talk about an African culture exchange night. So sorry, Mason, my brain is fried. So I will write that down. I will share with y'all the doc that I'm kind of taking notes on. But Sujana, that is really lovely. I know we needed a lot more support with our Black Boom Book Club. And Little Library sounds really awesome. So thankful for that. But I will, oh, I don't know if people have their like hands up, but I will send the link to this doc via email and in our chats.
That would be amazing. Okay, now we'll move to our next discussion. Sorry, I don't have the agenda in front of me, but I believe it was a discussion of the Big Ten Association, led by Eva.
Yeah, hi everyone. Definitely want to make this quick, and preface that a vote tonight does not mean we're joining the Association of Big Ten Students. Like, I can't just do that. But I wanted us to discuss what joining would entail, what that looks like for USAC. Also because I know that we have admin here, so kind of flagging this for them as well. Let me see. Yeah, so I've talked about it with Jessica and I've talked about it with Pamela a little bit. Um, but so as you all know, UCLA is moving from the Pac-12 to the Big Ten next year. And being part of UCLA, it's given us the privilege of being in the UC Student Association, through which UCLA students and EVP, a little bit more specifically, has had really amazing connections to other UCs, whether that's for like sourcing knowledge or literally just understanding how issues play out on other campuses, in addition to just collective lobbying power. That's really the biggest takeaway that I have from this. The Big Ten Students Association lets us stay within UCSA, but also just have more lobbying power with other students across the nation. Being a part of the Association of Big Ten Students includes like 3 conferences a year, and they mentioned that maximum of 7 students would attend these. Based on what they said, from my understanding, it seems how that could look like next year is it would be the USAC president, maybe one other member from the president's office, like one of their chiefs of staff, for example, and then other members from the EVP office, just because this is an external matter. But that's how I seem to understand how this would apply to us. But obviously this is not my problem. I will be graduated. But so the president like attends like biweekly meetings. I think Naomi, you mentioned you started attending them. So pretty much it's like a low commitment thing. There's no dues or contracts required to join the association, which is super good for us. It's really student run, and on the admin side of things, I think it means it's a pretty easy transition. So that's something I think that Naomi and I can discuss, I think, a little bit further if needed with admin. So like Jessica or Pamela, or anyone else, if needed. But I really just wanted to bring this to USAC to like take it to a vote if you all are in support of joining the association, and then taking that signal of support to admin, just kind of get their approval, and kind of go from there, because there's no contract or anything, so kind of operating in the blind here.
I get you. There's one other thing I want to add to that. Since I did attend one of their meetings with the other presidents of the Big Ten, I just want to say, because I also attend the meetings with the UC Council of the Presidents, the one thing that I say will differ between the Big Ten is UCLA, we know we have a really dense population for our size of our campus. I will say our size of our population of undergraduate students is more comparable to the size of the Big Ten campuses, and some of them even have larger campuses, and not larger campuses, but larger populations of undergraduates. So a lot of our conversations there about like maybe space availability, stuff like that, we were really able to kind of discuss in the same kind of, I don't know how to say it, but vein of like sharing those same struggles. So I found that very valuable. And Jonathan, the question, is there a net positive or net negative overall? Honestly, I think it would be up to whoever the president is next year on whether to attend like the conference that they host, or even attend the meetings, because it's kind of up to the president and the EVP for next year to attend the meetings. We can't really be like, Well, actually, I guess we could in the bylaws be like, you should attend the meetings, get that language. I don't really see a net negative. Eva, do you?
All it means is just the EVP budget for next year is just gonna have more money going towards like these three conferences. That's like really the only negative, I think. Just so that's like an EVP issue. But like if it became an issue, there's obviously like soul funding and things like that. So I'm not really worried. For me, this is something that I'm really in support of just because I can see kind of how Naomi just touched on, but it's really good to talk to universities that might have similar like facilities capacities and things like that. And I just see it as like a networking kind of opportunity in the sense that like we can really just learn information and pool our powers together with like big associations of students. So I see this as net positive. Only thing is, yeah, just for next year's EVP, just to know that the budget is gonna be way tighter, but that's like based on our numbers this year, like I don't think it'll be really an issue.
Amazing.
So
did you want to put forth the motion?
Yeah.
Oh, Jonathan in the chat said if you want to take a formal vote on this, you'll need to vote to make this an action item first. Got it. My bad, I didn't peep that on the agenda.
That's my bad. So could I then motion to make
To
this
make
an
it
action
action.
item?
Can I have a second?
Second.
Eva motions, Megan seconds. All in favor, please raise your hand. Please lower your hands. All against, please raise your hands. All abstaining, please raise your hands. All right, with a 10-0 vote, that is approved. So now it's an action item. And can we have a motion to approve joining the Big Ten Association?
I move to approve us joining the Big Ten Association.
Sarah
Second.
motions.
I second.
I don't know who seconded. I'm sorry. So much. Who said that?
I second again.
Okay. All right, Mason seconds. All in favor, please raise your hand. 7, 8, 9. Please raise your hands. All against, please raise your hands. All abstaining, please raise your hands. With a 9-0 vote, that is approved. Oh, 9-0 vote, that is approved. Okay, thank you all. And that concludes our meeting today. This meeting is adjourned at 8:20. Thank you all for your time, and I